All right, wrapped up Soul Reaver 1. Hit the credits.
Woolie,
Yeah.
I want to describe the event that occurred. I was playing, I think, was it Pragmata that I was doing at the time? And someone came in chat like, Woolie just beat Soul Reaver 1. And the very next comment underneath it was somebody went, already? And I went, yes, that's the Soul Reaver 1 experience. You think you're building up to like the 80 or 70% mark, and then the game just goes over with a cutscene and a cliffhanger, and you're like, I can't believe this.
It really does. Between that and, excuse me, if we're talking about cut content, it really does feel like they ran out of time and money.
Guess what? I can tell you with absolute certainty, they ran out of time and money.
Yep. Right. Cut human area that, like, it's not cut, but it was meant to be more cut boss fight that is apparently in the remaster.
Hey, did you know? Hey, you remember when you got that fire, Soul Reaver?
Mm-hmm.
Did you think it was weird there was only the one element?
Oh, yeah. Okay. But
that's supposed to be like 8 of those, man.
To be fair, though, I hit the credits with half of my spells not being there.
Sure.
The glyphs were like
yeah, you could have gone a little further.
But... And to be honest, most of them felt worthless. Like, there was the fire one was great.
Oh, totally.
The others didn't fucking do anything really, and that was that.
That is a Halo 2 ass scenario.
So I knew, like, one, I knew the game was short, but I also knew, like, okay, cliffhanger shit coming the fuck up because of previous conversations. And
I remember that conversation vividly. I'm like, you gonna do the second one? You're like, I don't know, I don't like to promise. And I'm like, this one ends with the fucking expectation that you're gonna keep trucking because it just cuts the fucking page in half.
And so, you know, while I was more or less like prepared for that, like, yeah, Reggie's just there like pogging out like, what the fuck do you mean the credits are rolling? You're like, welcome to the 1999 experience, you know?
You flip a coin enough times, will it land on its edge? Credits. What?
Here's what I will say is finding out that like how long did you have to wait in 1999? And the answer was 2 years.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm like, okay, fine. That's
different
fine.
Console though.
Yes. And also 2 years after 1998 time? Yeah. That's like 13 years now. Yeah. The speed at which amazing shit was coming out back then, that's an eternity, you know? But no, I'm like, all right. They did get to the second one within a reasonable time frame here.
But guess what? Soul Reaver 2 also.
Right. Yeah. I can see. So here's the thing is I was looking at the as you're walking down that final stretch of the game, you're looking into the future. You know, you're looking to the past, and then you're seeing these scenes replaying, and then you start looking into the future, and I'm going, are you showing me the sequels right now? Are you setting up moments that you're going to have to come back to?
Now, Woolie, if you were playing Legacy of Kain in 1999 and you're like, oh my God, this cliffhanger's crazy, I can't believe it. But like 6 months later, they announced Soul Reaver 2 and it's out a year later in 2001. You're like, oh, okay, that's not. But then you finish Soul Reaver 2. And the same fucking thing happens. You're like, oh, I can't believe it. Oh, when's the next one? I can't wait. When do you think Defiance comes out?
Oh, I guess that was a bit more of a stretch.
When do you think?
2005?
3.
Okay.
So like each time it happened, you're like, oh, I can't believe. Oh, it's out.
There it is. Right. Okay.
A whole trilogy of games. A whole tetralogy of games in like an 8-year period. Because Blood Omen was
96,
95?
96. Yeah.
So 90. So in a 7-year span, they released the tetralogy of games. And then Defiance does wrap it up, but then they open it up for the future. And you're like, I wonder when the next one's going to be, in about 18 months, right? And that's where I've lived for my entire adult life.
And there we are. Yeah. What I will say is, knowing that, looking at this with the lens of late 90s, early aughts as the, how you're supposed to play it, it is really, there's a lot there that is incredible for the time. The thing that I remember the most, though, is this is the ammunition that was used in the war of this versus Ocarina of Time.
Ridiculous comparison.
And that's
like,
now I'm like, that's insane. That so you cannot.
The structure, I can see it. Structurally, it shares, like, I'm going to go to a dungeon, I'm going to do a puzzle, I'm going to get an ability.
Puzzle, third party. Yeah.
And it was mature and violent and had voice acting, but like it's a small game with a small scope, and it does a couple things that are impressive, but it's not like this mechanical masterclass that Ocarina was.
Like Ocarina is like, you finish the Deku Tree and Jabu Jabu's belly wraps up, and then we end the game, roll credits there.
Yeah, you
don't even get to adult, in direct comparison here, I'd say. So yeah, that feels silly. Not to mention that, like, there's no real other, like, you're not really going about and like talking to there's no other like towns, villages, people, etc., whatever going on. You're doing the puzzle rooms, you're killing the enemies, you're meeting
Simon
your brothers.
Templeman and Michael Bell are just gonna monologue at you.
They're doing it. It is funny, though, seeing this with the lens of the past in the chat next to us at the same time, because I'm appreciating it and like what it's doing, and keeping in mind that, like, yeah, again, voice acting at a premium back then. But at the same time, your childhood memories of this game are way longer and more in depth and have more plot going on than the reality of what we experienced, right?
Like, for example, this is a really good example. I'm streaming and somebody goes, "Well, they just beat the Silent Cathedral." And I'm like, I thought that was going to take him like multiple sessions, because when I was 15,
yeah,
it took me like 8 hours.
Yeah. And I felt
I was stupid.
I felt that the whole time watching as we're going, encapsulated in these big moments where, for example, walking into the final room with Kane, right? Folks are like, best monologue incoming. I was like, good. It was all right. I mean, it's fine. It was...
Well, so the reason why it was the best monologue incoming is that your choices of monologues were Metal Gear Solid 1 and nothing.
And when you got this monologue, you were also on summer break in your friend's house with a sleepover, and you just had pizza and you had some 7-Up, and you're getting super hyped up for this sick final battle that's about to happen because you rented the game for the weekend. Right? So you're having all of that, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not there right now. That's not where we are, but I can't fight that memory, it is kind of like, yeah, this is basically introducing these characters. And Kane really has like two moments. One where you fight him and then he kind of goes like, I'm doing something with the Soul Reaver, and disappears on you. And then the second time where he sets that up and talks about viewing the future, and Mobius gets introduced, and then he rage quits to the time stream, which is the funniest shit ever. Like, fuck Alt F4. I am jumping into the live stream and you will come find me. It's hilarious shit. And
then they're suddenly telling you that I hope you are excited for the timeline of the games to get super fucking confusing. Super confusing, man.
Looking forward to it, But this being said, keeping a lot of that in mind, I see the potential here for this to then tighten up some of these mechanics, expand the whole like how to kill the enemies bit, and maybe making this Shadow Realm a little more interesting with stuff, and then fucking pausing and thinking and turning and pushing and spinning and blocks.
And blocks. That's correct.
Because, oh boy, this is a puzzle game with 3D fighting graphics happening around the puzzles.
Absolutely.
As is a video game, an IDOS video game at the time.
Yeah.
Anytime I thought like there might be one moment, the moment where you fight Dumas and he gets up, you pull the stakes out, and you're like, oh, here we go. It's a fight. And it's like, it is not. It is a lead him to the furnace moment. But his AI kept breaking, so I had to like run back and kite him, and it was actually a poor showing.
So Dumas rules. Like, Dumas is like a really good example of all the problems we're talking about in Soul Reaver. The setup for Dumas as the biggest and healthiest of the vampire lieutenants, whose children you've been fighting the whole game, was so tough that he's the only one that the humans of the time were like, fuck that one, and staked his shit to the wall, but couldn't kill him.
And
so you have like, I have to allow my enemy to like heal up so I can actually kill them. Cool idea. Very awesome setup. I'm gonna trick him to fall into the furnace.
I mean, they like he does do the ha 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 laugh when you swing at him, right? So there, but ultimately, I think what's a little strange too is that like the only fights that are not puzzles in the game are the Kane fights. But those aren't really fights either, as much as they're like run up to him and get a swing
He's gonna do a thing in the corner. Go
do it fast. Just do it. And it's like, it's not about solving how he's gonna zap you or what. It's just like, no, just get there faster. You know?
No, you can feel how every single part of this game was built out of the old versions of Tomb Raider.
Definitely.
And since Raziel doesn't have a gun, he doesn't. It's not a good bunch of ways to fight a bunch of these enemies.
But around that, one of those last puzzles where you're pulling the one block from the to open the one door and the two block to open the two door, and you're switching the sides with them and getting the, I'm like, yeah, we're Tomb Raiding for sure. I still do think though that, like, again, the idea of how you kill enemies and have to take their souls and that whole thing is very cool. Unique for the time, and yeah, that's very unlike any other thing, and that's the most unique bit it has going for it. Some of the platforming is dodgy, but like it's fine. You have I really only learned
talking to somebody and they're like, Legacy and Kane Soul Reaver is so much better than Zelda because you actually have a jump in that game.
Fuck off with that shit, dude. The Zelda not having a jump actively made platforming work way better. Because I'm doing the thing that I only learned at the end, which is hold slow walk, approach an edge, and you won't fall off of it, right? And you and I'm like, the problem I've been having was like walking to these edges and trying to get the high jump and floating down to get fucked over on just being unable to grab the ledge and moving up.
The game's from '99. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. No, a jump button feels good in combat, and in the ability to do that running around the map is something that feels good in video games regardless. But getting used to it and getting used to the weirdness of like run to the edge and you'll jump off of it in Zelda was strange, but I ultimately got what they were going for and why, and
I tell you what though, Legacy of Kain Defiance did genuinely change a lot. You have a high time in that game. And air combos.
Wow.
Like
okay.
they straight up were like, we played a bunch of DMC1.
So, I mean, combat in this first one, as basic as it is, the little stinger input and sidestepping was interesting. I'm like, oh, you can backstep, you can dash in and slash, or you can swing around them if you dodge when they attack you and get to the side. And that's more engaging than I thought, while you're locked on.
Yeah.
So they had like soft lock controls and strafing. That kind of worked out. Yeah, it was just you know, it was just all that and the puzzles and everything in the end were just like ultimately I get what you're going for. I'm looking for I want to see the step up from this. And yeah, maybe we can start to walk away from block pushing a little bit and get more towards the other interesting things with these games. And if you're going to keep block pushing, you can make the blocks go faster. You know, you don't have to make them go cube by cube, square by square, one push at a time.
So I'm looking at like Defiance footage, and I can still see the fucking the rooms are still made out of the grid.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. The other thing too is,
but Raziel has million stab with the Soul Reaver.
Okay.
So fuck it.
You also do feel like you're running through a giant cave for most of the game. Like rooms just connect to rooms in a way that like it feels like you're in one big complex as opposed to like.
Well, don't you understand? It's been so long that the earth has shifted and cities are gone and the landscape is barren.
So yeah, Nosgoth feels like you're in an ant colony.
Yeah.
And that's a weird feeling, right? There's a couple moments where it opens up, but for the most part, the whole thing feels like you're running through an underground ant colony. Which, you know, like Metroid games have those moments, but there's ways to kind of like, break it up a little bit in presentation, I suppose, to feel more like, you know, you're traveling zone to zone. So I'm looking forward to see how they do that. It does help to shoot the blocks and push them faster that you get later on.
Yeah.
But it's still pretty slow, you know. Anyways, the plan, and I said it at the end there, was actually going to be hit credits, jump right over to 2 in that collection, and hit the start button. However, and that got people excited, and but I gotta say, Pragmata has struck my interest.
Pragmata's here.
So I want to play some of that because I really, really enjoyed it. So we're going to play some Pragmata before we continue doing anything else. And in the meantime, Ace Attorney continues as the other LP we're playing right now. Yeah, that's over on WoolieVersus. This week, I'm going to do some more of that. And then on Saturday, I'm going to see if it's possible. I think we're going to do a Strive 2.0 stream to try to get a guest in. But going to wait for confirmation. Yeah. How about you?
All right, so before I get into anything, I'm turning 40 years old
tomorrow.
So I'm having what Paige came up with this idea to call it the Half Dead Marathon. Because I am turning half dead, and by the end of the day, I will also be half dead.
Okay, so that means that by 80, like zombie,
I must die.
Well, no, I think you just enter like unlife, zombie mode.
Like Lichdom.
Lichdom begins. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Lichdom's all right.
Oh,
people knock on it, but
well, the whole time with this Kane thing, I was like, oh, so that's Daddy, and then y'all are looking up to, and it's like, no, that was Necro Daddy, actually.
It's a whole thing.
And then now he's Necro Puzz Daddy.
It's a shame like very little in the Legacy of Kain series can live up to like, all right, Kain, you can solve the world, and he's nah, don't want it.
Well, but now the implication is because I seen shit though, and I'm like, what'd you see, Kain? Staring in this fucking room of portals. You've been looking at stuff. What you see that made you choose to go? Fuck it.
I'll tell you right now, the most interesting discussions between Raziel and Kain is you don't know what I've seen, and Raziel going, you're fucking full of shit. You didn't see shit. You just didn't want to sacrifice yourself. And
then Raziel goes, Kain goes, nah, you just didn't look long enough.
Yeah, and fuck you. It's a great like clash of ideals, because like you don't know which of them is right until the dead last moment.
I don't know what you saw, you know.